Hi guys, this is Kamesh from ManageEngine. Thanks for joining the session and see which functionalities are available in what areas. So this is the login page of PAM360 solution. And as you can see in the login page, we kind of have the same module information present. So I'm just going to go ahead and log into it. So pretty much all the ManageEngine products would have this user management area. So this is the section where you are going to onboard your users to allow them to access this PAM solution and make use of it on a day-to-day basis. So to onboard users, we have Active Directory, Azure AD, LDAP, or even SAML-based authentication supports. So you can import your users from any of these directory services, or you can integrate with Okta or ADFS or any SAML-compliant IDP. Smart card and radios are also options available. Active Directory and Azure AD would be the most commonly used authentication system. So you can just supply the domain details and onboard the users directly from Active Directory. And all of these options also have synchronization settings. So this will allow you to automate user addition process. So for example, if a new member joins your team tomorrow, you don't have to manually onboard the user. Instead, you just add them in Active Directory, and with the help of the sync feature, the user will be automatically onboarded and also delegated access to the team's information. When you onboard users from any of those directory services, you could assign them with one of these roles. So we've got 5 built-in roles with the different set of access controls. Password users are the end users, so they are going to be using the solution mainly for consumption. So they would be able to check out some information or connect to some machines based on access delegated to them by their respective admins. Password administrators are kind of like team leads, so you would have a couple of password admins for each and every team or each and every department. Now, these password admins will take the responsibility of adding the team's endpoints, collecting them together, and then delegating it to their own team members. So they are primarily going to be managing the endpoints and then deciding which user should have what kind of permissions. Privileged administrator is kind of an ultimate user because they will have access to all areas of the product, including privacy and security controls. So typically you will only have 1 or 2 users designated with the privileged administrator role. And then we have an auditor role in case if you have an info security team or auditing team, you could designate them to be auditors. So they will be password users. In addition to that, they will also have access to view audits. So these are built-in roles, but in case if they're not sufficient, you can create your own custom roles. So we have this custom role section where you can cook a role, maybe. So you can choose a base role and you can just remove the delete operation for this user. So this user will be like password admin, but without any delete permissions across the solution. So it's a quite powerful feature. We have a lot of customers using this custom role capability. In addition to the first layer of authentication with any of these directory services or authentication systems, we also have 2-factor. So we support RSA Secure ID, Google Authenticator. Pretty much all the major TFA systems can be integrated. So all the users will be challenged twice before they can access the PAM solution. So that's pretty much what we have in terms of the user management area. And the next section we have is this resources tab. So we use this term resource to denote any appliance or server or a network device or database or even a web application. So pretty much anything that contains usernames and passwords, we call it as a resource. So resource is like a container inside which you will have multiple accounts stored. So we've got discovery functionalities, so you can onboard all your Windows machines directly from Active Directory. So the tool will discover all the privileged local accounts and also service accounts that are being used across your infrastructure. So in my case, this is my domain administrator account, and I can see that it is also running a Microsoft SQL service on one of my Windows machines. So without doing any write operation, just by onboarding machines from Active Directory, you can get the list of all local accounts and all service accounts that are currently being in use within your IT infrastructure. And similarly, we have a discovery feature for Linux where you could create an SSH profile, and based on that, you could scan an IP range to discover your endpoints. For network devices, we support SNMP-based discovery capabilities, so you can just specify the SNMP read-write community values, and based on that, we'll be able to scan your IP range and find out how many switches, routers, firewalls you have. And specifically for VMware ESXi, we have a discovery capability where you can specify the VMware ESXi root credentials, and with that, we will be able to onboard all your VMware ESXi hosts. Apart from these discovery, we also support manual addition or import via CSV or TSV options. So this will allow you to migrate from any existing tool that you may be using, or if your team is used to storing information across documents, you can collect them all and bulk import them to have them all onboarded into this section. So once you onboard this information, you can define how you want our PAM solution to talk to your endpoints. So if you go to this remote password reset section, it will allow you to choose an account or define the protocol or the ports, or basically the login information, like how you would like our PAM solution to talk to your endpoint. So maybe for your Linux machine, we could define a guest as a login account, and then just say su as root, or use sudo command to perform any privileged operation, like changing passwords. For databases, again, you can specify the instance details, the port number, and the particular login credential. For network devices, you could specify the entire login sequence, like if there's an enabled username or enabled password and all of that. So the idea is we allow you to define this information in bulk. And you could do that even for online services. Like in case if you would like to manage the passwords of AWS IAM accounts, then you could just specify your access key and secret key, and our PAM solution will be able to reset the passwords of AWS accounts. And we also support Google Apps, Azure, Rackspace, and Salesforce. So for all of these endpoints, we will ask you for the respective credential type and the protocol details. And based on that, the tool gets the ability to connect to any of your endpoint and change the password on command. You could change passwords by triggering a password reset for any one account. The tool also has a capability to generate random passwords, and you can control the complexity of those passwords. So you could create a policy, define the complexity, age, and our PAM solution will generate a password in compliance to the standards you have specified. And you can also change passwords by setting up groups. So we have this dynamic group capability that allows you to create a group by specifying a criteria. So this can be used to automate grouping functionality. So let's say tomorrow you add 10 Linux machines. They will be automatically scanned and discovered, and the root accounts of all the Linux machines can be automatically added into this group. And for that, all you have to do is create a criteria that matches your requirements. In this case, I'm going to filter all my Linux machines, and then I'm going to filter just the root account of all my Linux machines. So I could just save this group, and from that moment on, it's an automated group. And I can share this group of information with other users or to another user group. So the best practice would be to collect your information as different resource groups and then delegate it to your user groups that are synchronizing with your own respective directory service. So this would be part of the second module that we discussed, which is the access management. So the first module, account governance, lets you discover, change passwords, and with this grouping capability, you can set up a schedule to periodically rotate your passwords. So this is the periodic password reset wizard. Maybe I can just specify the days as 30 and say start this job from this Saturday. So every 30 days, my account passwords will be rotated, and the PAM solution will send a summary report before and after it completes the job. So all of these functionalities are part of the first module. And the sharing capability is part of the second module, which is privileged access management. So you could provide certain users with view permission or change permissions or full access, and these sharing will allow you to have complete visibility of which users have access to what information and what kind of permissions they have. But on top of this, as we saw in the slide deck, we also have access control features. This will allow you to bring in a request approve workflow. So maybe one or more admins have to approve the request in order for any end user to check out the password. You could exclude certain users. You could set up auto approval. And you can also have this policy configuration where when you approve the request, the user will be elevated to their respective security groups that are part of our Active Directory management solution. So this access control will allow you to release passwords on a time frame or elevate a user's permission of their domain user account for a particular time frame and have complete control over your endpoints. And then the connection tab is where we have our privileged session management module. So from this section, administrators and end users will be able to launch a remote session. So without knowing the credential, you could allow a vendor or a contractor to be able to jump into a system and do whatever activity they would like to perform. So all these remote sessions, either RDP or SSH or SQL sessions, these will be recorded. So you will be able to go to our auditing area, play back, and find out what was done during an RDP session. And you can also see the activity logs. So this is one of my previous recordings. With the help of our SIEM solution, we are able to also find out what was done during a particular remote session. So not only do we record the session, but we also capture all the information about the access that happened in the target system during that privileged remote session. So the access delegation can be done using three options. So like I said, first is the basic sharing, second is your access control and just-in-time privilege elevation, and third is our session management. So this is another way of delegating access without actually sharing any credentials in clear text. So users are just going to see the machines defined to them, and they're just going to be able to connect to the machines and do their job without ever getting to know the passwords in clear text. Apart from these capabilities, we've got SSH key management. So like I said, you could discover keys, you could create a completely new SSH key pair, deploy it to your endpoints, and you can set up schedules to rotate your SSH keys across your Linux systems. Certificate management allows you to discover your SSL certificates across Windows servers, mail server, or from Active Directory, or in case if you're using a Microsoft certificate store, you could also pull certificates from there. But the objective is to be able to discover a certificate and manage it. So for example, I can just supply a web URL. So this could be an external website, or it can even be the host name of your internal web application. But the objective is to get the certificate discovered and have a PAM solution manage the SSL certificate that was found for that particular web server. We also have integration with GoDaddy. It would ask you for the GoDaddy credentials, so you just supply the key and secret, and now you can order certificates right within this PAM solution. So ideally, you would have to log into GoDaddy site, copy the certificate request, and get it signed. But with this integration, you will be able to easily order renew certificates from GoDaddy or Let's Encrypt or any of the other CAs. The certificates can also be pushed out to multiple machines. You can deploy them in bulk and have them delegated to different teams. Apart from that, if I go to analytics section, so this is a section where you can get the behavioral analysis, where the tool provides you with the information about anomalies, sends you alerts based on the usage pattern of passwords and users and all of that. So this functionality is leveraged in this PAM solution with the help of our Analytics Plus integration. So in the beginning of the slide, we saw that we had about 60 plus point products. So some of those products are quite powerful, and the objective of this PAM360 to act as a unified solution so that you don't have to go to multiple applications to get a particular information pertaining to privileged access. So instead, we have direct integration with all the respective solutions like SIEM or UEBA or ITSM ticketing systems to make sure all your privileged access will be controlled, audited, and monitored from within this single console. So we have powerful auditing capabilities, and we also got integration with the other SIEM solutions. So you can specify your Splunk or Log360 or Sumo Logic information, and our PAM solution will be able to forward all the raw audits either as SMMP or as syslog messages. So, and these messages can also be like controlled at granular level. Like you can have the syslog forwarding just for a specific operation or for all operations. Apart from that, we also have reporting capabilities. So there's about a dozen reports that comes out of the box. There are compliance reports. So like I said, these are for PCI, ISO, NERC standards. So it provides the checklist for NERC, scans your devices, and lets you know how many are in violation to SIP requirements. So these are all comprehensive reports. You can set up schedules to have those reports sent to you through email, either as Excel files or as PDF files. Under admin section, we've got other integration. So like I said, we can integrate with the vulnerability scanner. So we just completed the integration with Insight VM, but we are going to extend this capability to add more vulnerability scanners like Qualys and all the other vendors. We also have integration with the ticketing systems like ServiceNow or Jira or ServiceDesk. So like I said, this also works right out of the box. From a DR perspective, like I said, the solution has high availability capability where you can have two instances running with a real-time replication. So even if one instance fails, the users will be routed to the second instance in real time. We also have a multi-master model where you could set up an SQL cluster as a backend, but in the front end, you can have as many PAM applications as you want. So the objective is to make sure you increase or extend the scalability of this product based on your own requirement. So let's say you have 10,000 users and you would like to increase the concurrent connections that can be launched using our PAM solution. So you could just add another application server and point it to the same SQL cluster. So that would be our multi-master model. And then we have daily backups, and we have cloud integration where all your information will be encrypted into a single HTML file. You could specify a 16-digit passphrase that will be used for the encryption, and we will automatically move the HTML file into your own respective cloud systems. Now, this could be Box or Dropbox or Amazon S3 bucket, and we'll make sure you have this as a breakless procedure so that one day, if you are not able to access your devices or access your PAM solution, you will still have a place where your passwords and other information are securely stored. In addition to that, we have, let's see here, HSM integration. So by default, PAM360 handles its own encryption, We use dual layer of AES 256-bit encryption to secure your data. You could also integrate this with your own HSM solution like SafeNet so that the encryption module can be transferred to your HSM solution, or you could store the encryption key within your HSM solution to manage it. We also have key rotation capabilities even while using the built-in PAM360 encryption. All the functionalities that we saw so far, they are also available and can be used in a completely agentless mode. So the solution doesn't have any prerequisites, and it's not mandatory for you to deploy these agents in the endpoints. But in case if you have DMZ locations or isolated networks that are residing behind a firewall, for those systems, you could use our one-way agents. So these agents are designed to use outbound traffic to talk to the PAM web server. So you don't need to poke a hole in your firewall, and you can just drop these agents behind the firewall in your DMZ endpoints, and the PAM solution will still be able to help you in changing passwords on all of your endpoints with the help of the agents. So that's pretty much all the major functionalities. So the other features like rebranding, themes, the customization features, they are fairly straightforward. So after the webinar, we will share the presentation that we saw earlier and also the recording link of this entire webinar. So you guys will be able to review it or play it again or share it with your own team members. And do you guys have any questions? If you do have any questions, feel free to write it in the chat box, so we will be able to see the questions and we'll be able to answer them for you. All right, so I don't see any questions, but okay, so like I said, we will share the slide deck and the recording of this entire webinar session link. So you will be able to play it back, share it with your team. And if you guys come up with any more questions, feel free to reply to our email and we'll be happy to help you out. And thank you so much for joining the session, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.